everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I am with Lina and we are going to be talking about the BBA program at ESSEC. So Lina, tell us about yourself, where do you come from and what are you currently doing?
Hi everyone, so I'm Lina. I'm actually graduated from ESSEC last year in December.
Okay.
So I did the 4 years of BBA plus 6 months because I did the apprenticeship track. I'm originally from Marseille, south of France, and from Armenian origin.
Could I ask you to introduce yourself in Armenian?
Yes, of course.
Like how you did before the video, but I think it would be cool to show it anyway.
Of course. Բարև բոլորին, ես Լինան եմ, 22 տարեկան եմ եւ սովորում եմ ESSEC դպրոցում։ Ու շատ եմ սիրում ESSEC դպրոցը, շատ լավ դպրոց է։
Great. Yeah. Many of you guys have been asking me do a video on BBA, make a video on BBA, so that's what we're going to do right now. So Lina, tell us, why did you choose to do a BBA and why ESSEC in particular?
Firstly, I didn't really want to do business school. I wanted to do like economics or gestion, that type of thing in French. But then my professors told that I have this business thing in me, so they said maybe you can go to this school, it's ESSEC, it's in Paris, and it was just an advice from my professors.
Okay.
Then I thought that I would do prépa before MIM. And then I saw that if I do prépa, I'm not sure that I will have ESSEC because you need to perform, etc. And I wasn't sure that I will be able to do that. A bit of syndrome de l'imposteur. And I just applied to ESSEC.
So you only applied to ESSEC?
Only applied to ESSEC.
Okay.
And 2 other schools, La Sorbonne and Assas. But yeah, that's it. I think because ESSEC was also the top business school and top classes, very big international openness. I was like, okay, I think it's the good school for me and I need
Okay. Yeah. We're going to go more into the courses and the specificities of the BBA in ESSEC in this video. But before we do that, can you tell us more about the application process? So what kind of baccalaureate did you do?
So I graduated from my high school in 2021. So I had the Nouvelle Réforme.
Oh, okay. I understood nothing about it.
So before that you had S, ES and Intégrer. And with the Nouvelle Réforme you had to choose classes. So what I did in first year of high school, I chose mathematics, sciences économiques et sociales and geopolitics.
Ah, okay.
Like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. At the end of the high school you have this platform which is Parcoursup. Yeah.
Okay.
So on Parcoursup I selected Concours Sesame and then everything is done on the website of the Concours Sesame.
And what is this Concours Sesame?
So you have the written parts which is actually questions about culture générale, about mathematics, about English.
So you do this directly after your baccalaureate?
Yeah.
Okay.
And some people need to prepare a lot, so they do prépares, to do classes. But some people, for example me, I'm not an example because I just did 2 weeks before. I just revised, I saw the quizzes examples, and each night I did 30 minutes of exercise for 2 weeks. And it was actually enough because it's not that hard. It's not like the concours you have for MIM. It's not that hard.
Okay, so you did that and then you get your moyenne, and then is that when you apply to different programs? Yeah,
exactly. Then you have to select each program and you need to first pay for the concours and then you need to pay for each school. Okay. And as I really didn't want to pay a lot, that's why I was like, okay, maybe just ESSEC. But yeah, that was the written part first. And after that you have the oral part. Okay. But because I was the COVID year, I was exempted from the oral part. I didn't do that and they just cancelled everything at the last time. Yeah.
Okay. Do you happen to know what the interview is like anyway for the BBA? Can you tell us a bit about that?
I didn't do that yet, but I think, as I remember, you have 15 to 30 minutes. So there in the school, you have 2 or 3 people interviewing you, and you need to basically talk about yourself, present yourself. Why do you want to come to ESSEC? Why we need to choose you and not another student? What do you bring to the school? Then you have also questions about your hobbies, your passions, etc. Yeah, I think it's like the MIM program, as you said before.
Yeah. So I did make a video on the MIM program and we touched about the interview process there as well, so you could check that video out to find out more about the ESSEC interview. Just to conclude on the application process, there is your dossier on Parcoursup and then
Parcoursup
and then the interview, and then you know whether you are whether you got it or not. Okay.
Yeah, with written part, oral part, dossier, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Now that we have talked about the interview process, can you tell us about the BBA program at ESSEC? From what I understand, it's 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, it's 4 or 4.5 years. Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell us what do you do in the 4 years, for example, or the different kind of parts that you can take into BBA?
So it's basically separated in 2 parts. You have the first cycle and the second. First cycle is first and second year. So you have everyone has the same classes. You have mathematics, geopolitics, finance, law, business law, language courses that you can choose among Chinese, Japanese, Portuguese, Arab, Russian, like a lot of languages. So this is the first 2 years. Then you have the 2 other years where you have cours à la carte. So it's like a menu of classes and you can choose among a lot of classes. If you want to be more finance oriented, you have a lot of finance classes, even finance de marché. Yeah, it's very, very good. And if you are more like marketing oriented or like business development as me, you have a lot of marketing classes, product manager even class, responsible leadership class, like this type of classes.
I thought at BBA, I thought it was like the same courses throughout. I didn't know you can specialize.
Yes, you can
halfway
specialize.
through.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what specialization did you do in ESSEC?
So just to say, during the 2 first years, on the second year you can go either on the first or the second semester to Singapore or Morocco.
Okay.
You have this inter-campus exchange that I did. I went to Singapore, then Malaysia, your country.
Okay.
So yeah, so I went on third semester to Singapore for 6 months and then I came back.
And how was your experience in Singapore then?
It was crazy. Best experience. I loved it.
Yeah?
Everything was a bit more strict and it's a little campus.
Yes,
so
yes. I was in Singapore too. So.
I love the professors were very good.
Yeah.
So they help you a lot. If you don't understand something, they're really here to help you.
Yeah.
And it's more personalized, I think, than in Paris because I think that they really put a lot of effort on you and they want to give the best that they can.
Okay.
What is your opinion about that?
So for my masters, the Singapore track was particularly based on supply chain and purchasing in Singapore itself. So it was like the courses were different and we had professors from all over the world, so it's more international in that sense. We had a professor from India, from Taiwan, French guy, Singaporean person and all. But for your BBA exchange, does everyone have to do an inter-campus exchange or is it optional?
It's optional.
So that means in your second year you can either stay in Paris or go to Singapore or Rabat.
Or Morocco, yeah. Exactly.
Okay, and were the courses in Singapore like more tailored towards any Asian courses or typical BBA course?
You just have one class which is Asian culture and society.
Okay, we had that too.
But but no, it's the same classes as you have in Paris.
Okay,
like exactly the same. Yeah.
Okay, after your second year, then you go into the second part.
Second
So
cycle.
year 3 and year 4.
Yes.
And then what happens there?
So there you can choose your classes. So I took marketing, luxury marketing. What did I take? Neuro and psychology of economics. That was the best class ever with the best professor.
It sounds very interesting.
Yes, it was very interesting because it talks about all the chemicals that are happening in your neurons and your brain when you are taking economic decisions. And that was so interesting because it's so new and you have the medical side, you know, optical, like medical things. It was so new for me and I really loved because you talk about dopamine, serotonin and all that is happening in your brain. And also the professor Thierry Aymar, which is my first year macroeconomics. You know him?
No, I didn't have any. I didn't have much courses on economics.
He's one of the best professors at ESSEC. I really love him. And then you have also some classes on third and fourth year that are tronc commun. You have contrôle de gestion.
I see, like accounting stuff.
Exactly.
Like that.
And strategic management class and some seminars that everyone has to do.
Right, okay.
On like responsible leadership and stuff like that. But yeah.
So now that you are specializing in third year, and then what happens next? Do you have to do internships? Do you have to do an alternance?
Directly on the first year, you have 3 months of experiences.
First year, so like your year 1 in BBA.
Yeah, year 1.
Okay.
At the end of your first year, you have these 3 months during the summer holidays that you have to do an internship.
Okay.
So I went to CBRE, which is a real estate consulting firm, where I did marketing. But they advise you to do something on the field, you know, something where you sell, like a sale experience, so that you understand how is the work on the field. So that was the first year experience, this 3 months. Then on the second year, at the end, you need to choose if you want to do apprenticeship on the third year or you do just an internship.
Okay.
And I really wanted to do apprenticeship so that I can reimburse, you know, the half of my credit. So that's why I did apprenticeship track. And I went to Société Générale in the banking field to do marketing. It was very interesting because you learn a bit of finance but also a marketing. So that was a good mix. So yeah, I did this apprenticeship.
So this was 1 year?
1 year of apprenticeship.
Oh, 2 years of apprenticeship in year 3 and year 4.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you have to choose, or it's either you do semestral, like a semester, or you do 3 days and 2 days.
Oh, so you can choose that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just something to know is that you will go 6 months on exchange during these 2 years. So you need to say to your employer that you will not be here for 6 months and you're not paid. Because in France, if you're not here for 6 months,
fair enough.
You're not paid.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it. You choose. It's either you do semestral, what I did, like 6 months at school, 6 months on the company, and 6 months at school again. So you do 3 days and 2 days working and going.
Okay, and so you did that, but other students can also do a stage, an internship.
You can also do an internship,
for 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months.
So it's more of like semestral based again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting. So you do 2 years of apprenticeship, and then you said that you have to do 6 months abroad. Is that compulsory?
Yeah, this one is compulsory.
Okay.
Second year at the end, when you choose if you do apprenticeship or internship, you also choose which school you want to go, and you do a list of 20 schools, I think, for the exchange. And I really wanted to go to Nordics, so I only put in Denmark, Norway. Sweden, etc. And I got taken in Denmark, my favorite country in the world.
Okay.
And that's why I went to. It's not in Copenhagen. It's another city which is called Aarhus.
Okay.
It's a little city, but like, wow, my experience was so nice.
Why?
Because you learn a new kind of living. The Nordics, they live so differently than in France. You also learn about yourself because you're far away from everything. You're not with your friends. ESSEC is actually not that complicated because everyone is French, you know. So you got to speak with everyone, and it's actually easier when it's your language.
Wait, so sorry to interrupt you, but I didn't ask you this question. Is the BBA program in French or in English?
You have 2 tracks. You have English track or French track.
It's separated.
Yes.
Okay, and you did the French track?
Yeah, I did the French track.
Okay,
but you can also choose the English track even if you're French, but you need to pass a test for that.
Okay, and so all your courses were fully in French then?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so getting back to the Nordic part.
Yeah, so I really wanted to experience this country because I have family in Denmark too.
Okay.
And they always speak about this good country, etc. That's why I really wanted to try.
Okay.
So you need to choose among which school you want, and then they give you based on your grades which school you deserve. And at the end of your bachelor's, if you did apprenticeship, you have one internship, like optional internship that you can do.
3 months?
For 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So the ESSEC give you a convention stage, and you can do another internship. That's why I chose to do it, because it's good to have complementary internships.
Yeah.
And as well, now I'm doing this at Parfum Christian Dior in business development of brand experience.
So what exactly do you do during your internship? Can you tell us more about your role?
My role is actually business development. It's a big world, but you develop new ways of selling or new processes for Dior. So we work on masterclass projects for makeup. We work on everything that is service oriented, you know?
Okay, very clear. So when do you finish this internship then?
In June.
Okay, that's so soon. Can you tell us more about the student life at ESSEC? Are there a lot of clubs and societies? What goes on beyond the academics part?
Yes, you have a lot of associations that you can choose to go in or not. You have these interview parts to get there. Inside the campus, you will see that there is a lot of students. You have every program. You have MIM, you have BBA, a lot of master's degree, and now that you have a lot of masters in ESSEC, you have different people there. And it's actually very easy to socialize because people are so welcoming. It's very weird because we say that French people just stay with themselves, with French people, but I'm not like agreeing with that. We had a lot of international students like coming, and we also went to see them, and I have more international student friends than French friends at ESSEC.
Okay.
So now for me it's very easy to make friends and to get out of your comfort zone, because everyone is like that and we are all like alone, like, you know, finding friends, so everyone is in the same status, so it's very cool.
Okay, and did you take part in like any clubs or in societies in particular?
On the first year I did I think you don't have this association anymore, like ESSEC Media. I'm not sure if they have it or not, but it was like we were organizing comedy shows at ESSEC, and then we also created at the end the ESSEC Armenia, which is promoting Armenian culture.
So many of you there, and it's like, okay, wow.
We were like 10 or 15, something like that. It's
enough for a club.
It's enough.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. But you have a lot. You have association for music, for comedy club. You have also sport like parachute. You have ESSEC Aviron. A lot of. And also gaming.
What do students usually do after a BBA then?
So after checking, I saw that between 55 and 60% of students after the BBA, they pursue with a master's degree. But a lot of people also stop, and because you can also find a job.
Yeah, thank God for that.
Yeah, with 4 years, and it's so comprehensive. Like you have a lot of things. You have these internships. You are going to teach, so you have a good folder. But because it's very hard to find a job now, because there is a lot of people with diplomas. It's better to do a master's degree at the end. It's easier for you to find a job after, I think. But for example, a lot of people go to England, and it's easier to find a job with the BBA there.
Because in England they accept, like, you don't have to do a master's degree. It's not like in France where if you want to get a job easily, then you need to do back to 5. I have many friends in England who stop at their bachelors because that's normal. That's normal. And then they continue working after that too.
Even in the US, I think with the bachelors it's easier for you to find a job. Here in France, it's very hard.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now that you are done with the BBA program, what are you going to do after?
So from September, when I will finish my internship, I will go to do an MSc.
Okay.
Which is a double degree between ESCP and Centrale Supélec.
Okay.
In industrial engineering.
Okay, cool.
Very interesting, because I really wanted to broaden this business development part. I will not become an engineer, but I will have this credibility part, you know, of an engineering school, which is very nice. And that's it. And it will be a program in 1 year plus an internship at the end.
Okay.
So it will finish in December 2027.
So did you stay on the ESSEC campus during the 4 years? Was it a student accommodation or a private accommodation?
So when you apply, you also can apply, when you're first year, you can also apply to student campus of ESSEC. You have 3 or 4 student campuses, and you can just apply, and then you can give you one of the campuses.
Was it easy to get?
It was actually easy, because there are like a lot of rooms available. But I was at Le Parc, which is just behind ESSEC Business School. You just have to go, like it's 2 minutes walk. It was very good, and you are like 7 there. It's a colocation. So you have that, and then I moved because I stayed the first year there.
How much was rent there, by the way, if it's not?
I think it was 700 to 800 euro per month. Actually, it's good because you have APL also. Every student have the help from the state, you know, APL from the CAF. And so you have like 200 euro from APL, something like that. So it's actually not that expensive for accommodation. It's very good. Then on the second year, I went to another residence because you don't have this for another year. It's just 1 year. Because it's for first year student. Then I went to another campus. It was Sergic, just on the other side of ESSEC. It was also a very good place to stay. And after that, I took a rent in Paris for my 3rd and 4th year.
Fair enough. So I think we have reached the end of the video, but before we finish this, do you have any last tips and tricks for students who are looking to get into the BBA program at ESSEC?
Yes. So when you apply, give everything if you really want ESSEC, because you will get there. Like, it's not easy to enter, but if you are confident, if you do everything you can from your side. You have like your appreciation, you have good grades, you do also activities besides from your high school. Like you have every chance to get in because you are a good fit. And if you don't have it, it's okay. Like you have older very good schools also. But you just give everything you have, and I think you will get there. And when you are there also, don't hesitate to go speak with people because everyone is so friendly. Everyone is also in the same status as you, so you can just go and talk with people. Don't be afraid of socializing. It's so easy there. And also participate to all the events because it's very good. You have very interesting opportunities there, conferences, student events. So just do everything because it's the best years of your life, so you need to get there and take the most of it. So just do everything there and take the opportunities. It's very important. Use the career services when you're there.
I think it's always really important to ask yourself why you want to go to ESSEC.
Exactly.
And also like prepare that answer and convince yourself of that answer, because if you don't believe it yourself, the jury will pick up on that. So we have reached the end of this video. Lina, thank you so much for sharing your tips and your experience at ESSEC. I think you really sold the program well. And if you guys have any questions, then don't hesitate to put them in the comment section down below and we will get back to you. So I'll see you in my next video. Ciao!
Bye!